love when you come up here and see us. Hey, I know one model you wanted to talk about, and this is one that's dear to you, is the TE Pro. I have to tell you, historically, and I'll get these numbers completely wrong, we used to sell TE Pros, man, it was 10 to 1 XCW, and the XCW is a great bike. But ever since this chassis came out, it seems like there's a lot of people. We are almost neck and neck right now on how many TE300s we sell versus 300 XCWs. I think a lot of it does sit a bit lower with the linkage on here than the PDS, the redesigned PDS on the 300 XCW. So this has just become a core bike for us. We love them. They just ride beautifully. I don't know what it is. You ride one, I ride one. They feel nice and slim to me, and just not being a big fella, it feels like I fit on this bike really well. So what's the new for 25? So obviously graphics are changed. That's always neat. Nice clean graphics on here. The tank spoilers definitely look a little different than the 24s. Everyone who knows these bikes, there was a lot of confusion when the 25s came out because they introduced the slightly modified frame for some of the 25s. That did not affect this model range. It only affected the cross-country and moto bikes for both KTM, Husky, and GASGAS. These bikes, since they were just redesigned for 24, are actually identical with one notable exception on the TE, other than the graphics, of course. This bike now, unlike last year, the base TE300 is a Brembo bike. So we have Brembo clutch and brake components. I know we all love Brembos. I mean, the Ride-Teks, I never really had any issues with Ride-Teks, but I think a lot of folks, when they're buying the preeminent line in KTM's lineup, want to see a Brembo set of hydraulics on there. It still is differentiated from the XCW, not only by the linkage, which we talked about before. You're still running a DID Dirt Star wheel on here, front and rear, so that's going to be a little bit different. You're running a Pro Taper bar up here. That's going to be different. The TE300 comes standard with the mapping switch already on it, already installed, whereas it's an option on the XCWs. So those are going to be the big differentiators for this bike. Tank, obviously, tank design's a little bit different. Capacity is still listed at 2.25 gallons. But yeah, how do these things separate themselves? It's going to be wheel set, handlebars, now linkage versus the PDS. But now these are like the XCWs by offering a Brembo set. They're still rocking the closed cartridge forks, which we all love. And so what a fantastic offering right out of the factory. So pretty cool. Still running a similar wheel set, MX33s on the front, which is interesting that they're still coming with an MX33. We all know that we're starting to move toward the MX34, and I believe, and boy, don't make a liar out of me here, that I believe, yeah, that's still the 33. So I'm wondering when I'm going to see bikes coming out of the factory with the MX34 on the front. And then we're still running an AT81, which, by the way, is starting to transition in our catalogs to an AT82. Mm-hmm. So it'll be interesting to see when the tire set changes up a bit, but those are still standard for the moment. So I think that's the big news on the TE. Fantastic bike. XCW is a fantastic bike, but they definitely are set apart a little bit, and they both have something different for our customers. So yeah, that's
awesome. Well, we were really excited to see when they were come back out with Brembos on these guys. They had them for a while on the Rockstar editions of these, and you know, personally, I'm just not a fan of the Ride-Tek, but they work well for plenty of people. I just prefer the Brembo, and so for this bike to have a Brembo setup, I personally went with the TE300 Pro just because it had Brembos. That's how bad I wanted them, and so nowadays it's like, do you really even need to go with the top of the line flagship model if you're planning on put plastics and parts and all that kind of stuff on it? Because this bike now has Brembo and it does everything that the other one does as well. So super cool bike. Really excited to see what's coming down the line from KTM and Husky here in the future. But this is a really, really cool bike. And I think, Lee, there's a Heritage bike as well. Those are coming out too, huh? Yeah,
so we've already ordered those. We got a whole bunch of them coming in. I believe there's, don't quote me on this, I believe it's $200 premium, but they would definitely come with some very different graphics, blue and white and yellow. They're fantastic looking on the Heritage. So yeah, we'll see those when they come on in. KTM's got a little bit of news that we're allowed to talk about at this point. You're also going to see a couple new additions from KTM on the 300 XCW. So you know that we have got, we've sold a lot of the hard enduros. We're going to get another batch of them in the next couple months. But now there's going to be something called the Champions Edition, and there will be a Factory Edition as well. Factory Edition with a very special Explorer Pro fork on the front. The Champions Edition will be a little more reminiscent of how they treat the 6 days models in the past. A couple nice bits on them, Red Bull graphics in this case. But the Pro Edition will essentially be a hard enduro on steroids with 2 notable exceptions. I said Pro, didn't I? I meant the Factory Edition, excuse me. The Factory Edition will be what a hard enduro is. Different graphics, of course, Red Bull graphics on that one. And it will come with a Hinson clutch cover, and it will also come with that Explorer Pro fork on it.
Wow.
So nice upgrade. Price points are still in that attainable range. I think we're right under 14 grand for the Factory Edition, and obviously a bit less for the Heritage Edition. So we've got some coming. Come see us, but more importantly, it's just keeping this line vibrant and cool, and giving people different value add packages if that's what they like. And Brian, you and I both love the cool bike, so man, this is, I keep saying, I'm like a drunk who owns a liquor store, man. It's this is wonderful stuff, and I can't get enough. So I love it.
Man, well, we can't get enough of the new models. It's so fun. Even as my buddy John was pushing this bike over, there's something just the way a new bike even rolls over. So really excited to see the new models coming out. As they come out, you will see them here on the channel, so keep a lookout, and they will be in stock here at Mountain Dirty Motorsports. Once again, guys, seriously, if you haven't been to this place, I say it all the time, but it is really true. Know a guy that's picking a bike up here today that if you saw the service that he's getting from Lee today, it's really impressive. Nobody does this kind of service, and I'm really excited about it. So Mountain Dirty, thank you. Thank you, Lee. Stoked for the new models, and you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.